Tecla Chemabwai, the first lady to represent Kenya in the Olympic Games of 1968 and 1972. In 1968, my events were 400 meters and 200 meters, but what I represented Kenya on was 400 meters, where I went to second round and I was eliminated. It was my first experience, it was my first outing. I was so young, I didn't even know the differences of representing the country. I was born in Nandi County, Masambor area in 1954, and I started my running when I was in primary school. In fact, I was doing almost everything. I started when I was in class 2. By then I was actually doing soccer, and soccer they used to measure a meter, and a meter you are supposed to now. So I was actually one of the girls that I was playing soccer with the boys, and because I was actually, I think my talent was as being a sport person. So I started playing soccer with the boys, and then eventually I went to netball, and then I went to volleyball, where I also played with the men when I was in primary. But my athletics came when I was in class 4, and class 5 is when now I was representing Kenya in East Africa Championship. By then we had what they call East Africa Championship, where Uganda and Tanzania and Kenya had a competition once a year. So I found myself excelling more in athletics than playing the other games. So when now in 1968, when I met the qualifying standard, I was in standard 6 when I represented Kenya at that time. I was in standard 6. By the time I was going to Olympic, I was a sprinter. I had not actually, go to other events. I was running 400 meters, and when I reached there, I was eliminated in the second round, so I didn't progress. It was actually quarter round is when I was eliminated, and I ran 53.6, which was actually, I think at that time it was very good enough running that time. When we finished in 1968, I came and I finished my primary education, and I joined Kapsabet Girls. So when I joined Kapsabet Girls, we had headmistress had some interest in athletics, and that was Duplas, if you remember Duplas actually. So Duplas helped a little bit in giving us some training program. And so in 1972 is when I also represent Kenya. When I represent Kenya in Munich, I was still running the 400 meters, and I was also eliminated in the quarterfinal. So I came, and then when I finished my secondary education, before I finished my secondary education, we went to Australia, where I met a friend of mine from United States, and she actually, requested me if I can go and join them. But by then I had a government scholarship. I had a government scholarship from primary school to secondary school. So I agreed. And in 1974, when I was supposed to go to Commonwealth Games in Christchurch, is when I received a letter saying that I should actually proceed. But by then I had not even finished the high school. So I went ahead and I proceeded to United States with that lady who apparently now engaged me properly in training. And I changed the event from the sprints to middle distance. When I reached United States is when now this lady saw me that I should not, in America, there are so many, everybody's a sprinter in America. So chances of me excelling in sprint was nil. So she actually changed me to run the 800 meters. And apparently I also went and I did very well in 800 while I was in United States. So when 76 came, the Olympic of 1976, I flew from America and I joined the team in Montreal. But unfortunately, we were not able to participate due to South Africa, the apartheid. So we had to come back. But before then, in 1973 is when I represented Kenya in all African Games. And I ran the 400 meters and I won my first gold medal. And then the second African Games again of 1978 is when I actually, by then I was in 800 meters. So I won my 800 meters and I also participated in the relays where we won the gold medal in the African Games. And then I proceeded to Commonwealth Games in Edmonton, where I became second and I won my silver medal. After 1978, I went back to US and I just participated in United States, college competition. And then I came back in 1972, not 1972, 1982. 1982 is when I came back home and I joined Rift Valley Institute of Technology, and I did not participate in athletics. I think that was when my career came to an end, but I continue, training the athletes. In fact, the first person that I got was Tecla Chemabwai. So Tecla Chemabwai was the person that I actually went ahead and started coaching her in Rift Valley Institute of Technology. That is 1982-83. Yes. And then in 1984-85, I went to Mosoria Teachers Training College where I became a tutor, and I was also doing physical education and helping the sport men and women in athletics coaching. I joined Moy University from 1987 up to this year is when I've now retired. When the issue of Corona came, I took the advantage because by then I had actually started helping the young and upcoming children. So I felt I should actually start a school so that I can engage, because I have realized Kenya, we don't have kid athletics. So if you have been paying attention for the first 2 years, we have actually been bringing the children from my school to participate. They have been doing well in like Discovery Kenya. So I decided to come and give myself a full time and see how best I can help these young and upcoming children so that I can tap the talent a little bit early. And I've been training them. They have been actually, when you see this area, you can see this hill and all that, and I've been training the young and upcoming athletes. At the same time, we are just offering them the education. During our days, diet was not something in our mind because we didn't even have a diet, and we did not even understand what is diet, because we knew we just eat ukali. Sukuma was not even there at that time. It was the traditional vegetables, what we had at that time. But what I can say is that I don't know whether it is ignorance. As we wanted to run and represent the country, we cannot compare what the competition of the generation of now and our generation. As the important thing was to represent the country, and not even to represent the country, to represent your district. At that time we were representing the district. Then from district you go to provinces, from provinces you go to national. But nowadays, athletics is a commercial thing. And commercial people are now looking at how much money am I going to make in a year. As we were given allowances of 3 shilling, that was our money. And the highest I got was 7 shilling per day. That is, at the end of the day, you are making around 2,000. But that was, at that time, it was a lot of money. Because actually, I managed to save and I bought a land, a plot when I was in standard 5. So it was a lot of money. But now it is a different thing altogether. It is a commercial thing and you must work extra hard. And I think it is now becoming a problem because Kenya is one of the countries that produces the highest number of athletes in the world. And so our young athletes, they are being used by these agents because agents is a business to them. And a business, if an athlete is not performing very well, I believe our Kenyan athletes are very innocent. Our athletes, they don't mature enough in the field of athletics. So the money that they bring is that, they don't have somebody to guide them. And if somebody is there to guide them, they are not willing to listen. Because they will look at you and say, hey, who is this person talking to me? But what I think is that the amount that our athletes are making now is a lot of money. And education also, how far have they gone? For you to be able to invest also, it needs some little knowledge. But most of our athletes, they have finished secondary school. And when you see the person who has finished the secondary school, how old are they? So another factor that contributes in their misappropriation, but it is not misappropriation, I don't want to put it that way, is the extent of our African culture, the family. So when you are making that kind of money, there is that extension where people will come to you and you see, and then there is that little knowledge that you don't know about finances and so forth. So those are the contributing factor. We need our own agent, our own agent who apparently will prepare these people when they make money, that kind of money. It needs a lot of counseling because they are not used to those kind of money. As we were, the little money that we were making, it will go to mandasi. That was the first thing you'll remember is to go and eat mandasi because it was a rare kind of food that we don't get at home until end of the year when there is Christmas is when you can get chapati, mandasi and all that. But here is the situation where somebody has made over 100,000 in one day. And that 100,000 has come and they are not prepared for it. So the extent that family will come and misuse this particular upcoming athlete and they start spending money. The best and the time that I can now say it was an event that I will not forget was 1978. When I found myself representing Kenya, but it turned out that I was representing the entire African countries. I was under pressure, and that is one of the factors that we are not prepared. We don't prepare our own athletes. So what I went through when I was running the 800 is something that I will never forget because we started the event, and I did not even know how many laps I've gone. I did not know the finishing and all that. And it was due that I was not prepared psychologically. So it has actually made me realize that we should not be preparing our athletes on only physically and forgetting the physical part of mental. We need to be preparing them physically fit and also prepare them mental preparation. So I could have won the race. But because of that, I was asking myself, where am I supposed to finish? And now I'm representing Africa because every African country, our black girl, make sure that you go now and make us proud. So that tension a lot actually costed the race. And we actually, I was realizing that kumbe, I'm ahead when another lady was tipping from Australia. And that is how I lost the race. But if I had been prepared psychologically and physically, mental, probably I could have done better. So that is the year I will never forget. Our women, what I want to tell our ladies is that they need to be a little bit strong, because most of our women athletes might be going through a lot of challenges, and nobody is paying a lot of attention to them, and because probably the majority of the officials are men. But I want to urge them that education is the priority. They should actually take care of the education part as much as they are taking care of competing and making money in the field of athletics. Education should be also a priority, because being an athlete, especially in Kenya, you don't last long. After some time, it's not like us. We stayed because there were not too many. Women were not allowed to be participating in athletics because the culture and the mentality of our parents, they thought by staying in the field of athletics, you may not be able to come and give birth, or you may be witched and all that. But that is that time. But now education should be the key factor for almost our athletes, because when you look at them, when they come out, and then there is forces, there is prison, they don't want to know how far you have gone. They just want to sport you, and they will just take you and they put you in the training camp, and they want to make you run. At the end of the day, the running finishes and there is no education.